Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to talk about bamboo and how it flowers and when it flowers and everything about flowering with bamboo. So first of all, I'll just show you here, this is a nice young seedling of a bamboo that I planted up about 2 or 3 weeks ago. You can see lovely healthy leaves growing away quite happily there. It's also starting to send up a new shoot from the bottom, so that'll be taller than the last one. And this is the actual seed heads themselves. You can see this is what they look like. So bamboo flowers only once in its lifetime, and every species of bamboo is different. Some of them will flower every 40 years. Some other bamboos will maybe flower every 130 years. So when a bamboo flowers, it's a once in a lifetime occurrence, even for us humans. If you see a bamboo flowering, the chances are you will never see that bamboo flower again in your lifetime, because it's going to be such a long time. It's going to be at least 40 years until it does it again. So I was very excited when I found a bamboo that was flowering, so I could finally get some seed, because it's very rare to get bamboo seed. I mean, every year you might get 1 or 2 species flowering, but to get one flowering in your part of the world is quite unusual. Maybe every 5-10 years, I'm not sure what the statistics are for that. So I was quite excited when I found this one flowering. Now, one of the things that happens when a bamboo flowers is over the next year or two, it will send up lots and lots of flowers, make lots of seeds, but it will stop growing any new stems and it will stop growing any leaves, and the whole plant will die. Now, sometimes there's cases where the plant just about makes it and doesn't die, but on the whole, in the next few years, if you see it flowering, you know it's going to die. And another interesting thing about the bamboo is every single member of that species will be flowering. It doesn't matter if that bamboo is only a few years old, or if it's decades old, if it's growing in the tropics, growing somewhere cooler. It will all flower within 2 or 3 years of each other. So it's a mass flowering throughout the whole world, doesn't matter where the plant is or its age. And scientists aren't quite sure yet how it can tell when it's time to flower, but they do anyway. So as I said, I've got this one here. You can get that in focus so you can see how it looks. Get that focus for you. So there you are, that's the seed head there. Basically it appears at the end where you'd normally get a leaf. So this here was a leaf, but it's now shriveled up and dried. And you can see there's lots of little seeds. So what I've done is I've looked through it and carefully pulled out some of the seeds. This is an example of what the seed looks like. It's very similar to many other grass seeds, kind of similar shape and size. And you know it's viable because when you pinch it, you can feel something hard in there. It's not just like the papery covering, it's actually a seed in there. So what I've done is I've put a few into a sealed tray, which actually came with a takeaway. Just a thin layer of compost, a bit of water, and I've just kept the lid on to keep it damp, and kept this on a sunny south-facing windowsill to get plenty of light. And this was the first one to germinate. It germinated very quickly. Other ones are now germinating. I've got 3 more in here. So you can see this one here is coming along nicely. Got another one just there, which you can see, if I pick it up by the top, you can see the seed and the root. So I'll just get that focus for you. So you can see there the seed. I'm holding the shoot that's coming up, and just coming out from the seed there you can see a small root starting to grow. So it's doing quite well. Just starting. Same again with this one down here. Just starting to grow. You can see a little green shoot. So they'll continue to grow. And the interesting thing about bamboo is normally when people propagate it, because it seeds so rarely, they don't really keep the seed because it will go out of date after a few years, and you have to really germinate them pretty soon after it's grown. So most of the bamboos that you buy of one species will be all exactly the same. Be very similar. So the only way to get new types of bamboo is every time it seeds. So if you ever do find bamboo seeding, it's a good time to collect lots of seeds, plant those seeds, and they'll all be slightly different to the parents, and that's how you can get some nice new interesting varieties through. So what I'm planning to do is plant quite a few of these bamboo seeds, pot them up, and see if anything unusual comes through. I'm not sure how different they'll be from the parents. I'm expecting them most to be very similar. So the parent of this one was a clump forming bamboo, which means it stays in one position, it doesn't spread too fast or too far. It was a very dense one. It wasn't a very tall plant, it was only about 1 meter tall, so Be interesting to see what this is like. But I've also seen a second bamboo flowering in the area where I work, and that bamboo was actually about 3 meters tall. So I don't know if they're the same species or not. It'd be very unusual that there be two species flowering in the same year, two different species, because it's such a rare occasion for a bamboo to flower. So I'm hoping this is actually the same species and it's going to be a nice tall bamboo. Although if the two are flowering at the same time, then maybe I'll get an interesting hybrid. I'll just have to wait and see. As they weren't too far away, but probably too far for pollination anyway. Right there. So there we are, that's the first young one. And I'll just pop these other ones up now so I can get them growing in their own pots. As I said, I've probably got about 30 seeds in total, so I need to continue and get a few more of them done. And hopefully I can get myself lots of healthy bamboo plants, and we'll see if I hit anything unusual or different. I think the best thing I could probably find is, there we are, that one's got a lovely root system. See, it's quite long on that one. I think what I'd really like to find from one of my bamboo seedlings is maybe a variegated variety. I was reading online, sometimes even with the variegated ones, if you do get one from seed, it can take 2 years for the variegation to show. So even though some of these are green now, they might actually be variegated in a few years. So it's worth keeping them at least a couple of years. So that's them planted up, you can see. Just tiny little green shoot in there. Hopefully it's coming up on the camera. Get that focused. There's very small. There's the slightly larger one. And that one again. So it's the end of summer now, so it's not going to be the best time to grow them because it's going to be winter soon. I'll put them on the balcony because these I know are fully hardy, because the plant has survived outside, and I think it's been there at least a few years, and certainly 6 years ago we had -15, so it should be able to survive some hard frosts. But my balcony is quite sheltered, so they'll do fine. And I'll hopefully keep you guys updated. I'll show you if any of these are really variance between them is great or not. I'm hoping there's quite a lot of different growth habits between them. I'm hoping they're not all looking the same and we're going to get some interesting plants. There we are, that's my first bamboo grown from seed, and I'm quite happy because the germination rate so far is about 80–90%, so it looks like we've got some good seed.